Johnson narrates the way, and the ever-steady Styxboy shall ride away your brain. Bad to the bones, Bruce the Furnace, pick up for days on days, and the great top covers Boba Fett have bad writing to slay. We are all damage on damage. We are all damage on damage. We are all damage. The qualified. The qualified. We are prepared.
Hey, we're a little lighter today. We're a little light tonight. Sorry, guys. Bruce has no power, so there's that. And Dawn had a last-minute family engagement, so we are you're stuck with the two of us for a little while. Maybe just some people will pop in tonight. Yeah, so we're gonna make do tonight. Thank you all for stopping in. Hopefully, you stick around. We got a lot of stuff tonight.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about Tank Girl tonight. We got some good Pulp Art sales. We got the OLI. We got some fun trivia. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. So, how was your week, Styx?
Oh, this week has been kind of busy. Rainy. Yeah, Bruce has no power. We had a nice rainstorm earlier in the day that's affecting him now. So,
yeah, I had my tornado warnings all yesterday, so that was fun.
We had flood warnings all day.
Yeah, I had the flood warnings as well. We got a lot of rain, but kept my power for the most part. So, like I said, Bruce's power was supposed to be back on by 8:30, but well, we'll see. We'll say
RD&E, so who knows?
He sent us pictures of him in his front yard with his neighbors having some type of drunken rave with glow sticks. So
he did.
That wasn't he did. That's not a joke. That's actually what happened. So we'll see where we go tonight. Let's see who all is in the chat tonight as everyone kind of rolls in. GTK Comics, always early. What's up?
What's up?
Yes, Tommy, I miss my beard as well. I normally start around late September, early October, growing it back in. So it will be at its perfect peak girth come about February.
Nothing better than a girthy beard.
Pow! What's up, Terry? I know. Poor Mama Bear's let down. She's stuck with us two schlubs tonight.
Sorry, Mama.
She's probably off already. Probably.
But
we love you, Mama Bear. Thanks for popping in.
We do.
And Damien popping over from the Hot 10. Let's see. Hello, Styx and Joe. There's a guy on Macari that has filthy comics that make yours look like Chaplin. I don't go overly filthy with my I tend to go for the cleaner version of the filthy comics. The ones that are too filthy is just, well, number one, they tend to be more expensive. Which tends to be, it's like, I could get the nice cover for $20. Right? Get the mildly naughty cover for $40 or the naughty cover for $60. And sometimes I'm all right with the nice cover. Yeah. Yay, Mama Bear's still here. Thank you, Mama Bear. Just joking.
I'll stick to the free shit on the internet.
Yeah, I like the art, and there's artists that I like and I collect. And as I've always told everybody, you get a lot of artists that start off doing a lot of these Kickstarter books, a lot of Zenoscope stuff that people see as cheesecake and stuff like that. But those people make their way into the mainstream, and it's fun to have a lot of their original covers from before they were famous. And remember, the beloved Peach Momoko, her first one was Cherry Pop-Tart. So
true.
I
have that somewhere.
A lot of them start there because they give a lot of people a chance. So there's so many exclusives out there, and some of those exclusive companies as well, where it's like that's what they specialize in, is parody covers and all that stuff. And some of them are good. I can't say I haven't bought some of them.
I actually saw one this week that I was thinking of getting. It wasn't a naughty cover or anything, but it was a Do You Poo. And it was a Doctor Who parody one.
And those things go for a grip. The people there's a weird subsegment of hardcore Do You Poo collectors out there.
Yeah,
I don't know them. It's interesting.
I've never met one. not really.
Yeah, I wish I would have to get a nice deadline one for a giveaway. I'd like to have one for myself as well. Talk about a book that still is up there in value, and I don't know. I'll have to work the Styx angle on that one, because almost all the good deadline ones that I find end up being from UK for the Rock, because it was a UK magazine. So
yeah.
All right. Well, you know what? We I think we'll just get into some of this stuff this week.
Slide into our first segment.
Yeah, I'm still doing my magazine covers this week.
I like this cover.
I'm going to make magazine covers. I feel like it's a bit of false advertising, because I threw the Dom up there, but I got no Dom tonight. So
yeah,
he said if he ends his family engagement a little early, he might pop on. So so I will be continuing my qualified covers for a while.
I think the message still holds true though.
Yes, it definitely does.
Even if he's not here, the message holds true.
It does. He's always in our thoughts.
Yes,
or in our brains, yelling in the background at us. So, just want a bit of story. So let's take I am a deviant, which is why I put that on the cover. Yes, Behemoth. Yes, that is. This is actually old Behemoth comics, which later became Sumerian, which I think somehow merged with Massive. I don't know. All these companies keep merging, getting bigger and smaller, and changing names, not making things very, very easy. So first on our list tonight, Ain't No Grave, number 4, the 125. It's only a few sales at $35 to $40, but these 1 in 25 Scotty Young covers have been doing well on Ain't No Grave. People seem to like the series, and like I said, following the pattern, if a 1 in 25 does well on the first indie and does pretty well on the second issue, people will probably keep buying them, and they'll probably stay above ratio a little bit. So
doesn't hurt that Scotty's pretty popular too.
Yeah. I mean, people, you get the twofer there, where you get the Scotty Young love plus just kind of the fun indie comic stuff. So yeah, it's moving along. It's these 125 of indies, like I said, they normally fizzle out pretty fast, but people seem to like it. Next up on the list, The Power Fantasy, which is a new Image book. This only had a handful of sales. The average was 15 to 20. Apparently there was some confusion on what was the cover A and what was the secret cover. I believe it's the secret cover that's going for 15 to 20, because I guess they had listed the secret cover as the A cover or vice versa in some places. So there was a little bit of a mix up there. But Pete was hyping this book. I haven't picked up a copy of it, so I can't tell you much about it, but it's a new indie book. People seem to gravitate back to indies a little bit. There's good stories. People like them. And I think people are noticing that, a lot of indies get optioned. Most of them go nowhere, but you get a lot of option news with some of these indies. So,
I watched a couple folks that reviewed it here. I don't know if you ever watched Comic Book 2.0 there, Mike Spider Slayer, but he did he had read it, and from what I understand, it was good. Anthology book, but it was good. I don't read.
We have people smarter than us in the chat. Thank you, James, because I wish I could rely on you more often for some of this stuff. So yeah, the secret cover had a white box around the title. This is the thank you variant. So Next up on the list, in all things Doom, people are just kind of moving from book to book. There we go. That cover was originally solicited as the A cover. That makes sense. So yeah, the Doom stuff is just it's silly.
I think they're just kind of grabbing what they can. Hoping something sticks.
Yeah, I mean, this is a great LaRocca cover. I mean, I like picking up Doom books as well. I like Doom, but some of the prices on some of those books have moved. That What If book is selling for over $100 raw.
Grip,
which is weird. I don't know how to feel about that. Even Exiles 23 is still doing okay. Infamous Iron Man 1 is settled a little bit, but still doing well. But that book has always had a little bit of heat behind it anyway. But so some of those books are just ridiculous prices, and I can't imagine a What If book staying up at over $100 for a What If story that probably will have absolutely nothing to do with what we eventually end up getting. So people are shifting from Doom to Doom to Doom to Doom. So if you find those on the 10 tonight, we had that Scotty Young cover where Tony was dressed as Doom on the cover, the Scotty Young cover, which is starting to pick up heat now as well. So yeah, like Timothy said, What If sell for $500 for a 9.8? I mean, buy what you like, but buyer beware as well. It's not long for this world.
I can't think of a What If book that I would pay that much for.
No. I don't think I'd buy the whole What If lot for that. But
no. You probably could have bought it for $20.
Yes,
about a month ago.
Buy what I like. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I love Doom. But please temper one's expectations for some of these books moving up and around. Like this book at a 10 to 15, yeah, fine. I mean, if the bottom falls out of it, you're not going to get hurt on a $10 to $15 book. If you're buying a What If book for $125 or $150 raw off eBay and it comes all banged up, that's probably not going to hold up so well long term. So
no.
Yeah, you do have a few that pop in there every now and then, but again, the Doom spec is real and crazy. And again, people are just moving from, I mean, even that Blood Hunt 1 and 25, not the red band, with Doom as Sorcerer Supreme on the cover, was doing really well. So it's all things Doom. More Deadpool stuff. So Wolverine 66, where you get your old man Logan. He saw the giant Ant-Man / Giant Man helmet in Deadpool, so maybe old man Logan universe will do something. Who knows with Deadpool? There was so much in that movie. There're just some weird things to spec on, but like I said, this isn't too bad. There's only 24, 25 sales and average of $30+. So it's picking up in volume, a little bit in price. Again, none of these are going to kill you, but this is a book that will probably come back down. And if you really want it, or if you really just want to read it, I'll just go get a trade. But it's a fun series. It's a fun story. That whole Old Man Logan universe was pretty fun. But like I said,
I agree.
All things Deadpool movie and Doom news is still pushing the market around. And last on the list, something that I think is very, very pretty. We had this on our Comic Now and Later, what was it, 2 weeks ago or before SDCC?
Yep.
This is a beautiful, beautiful Sozamica on G.I. Joe Real American Hero 308. This was the SDCC limited to 300. Average sales are around $200, and there are about 10 sales. It's a Baroness cover. I would love an old man Wesley Snipes, even though he is kind of an old man now. Yes, this Sozamica is Sozamica. She's not doing as much as she was when she was really hot for DC for a bit, but she's still putting out great covers. And this is definitely one of them. Number one, Baroness covers are always great. There's not really a ton of perfect Baroness covers. There's not. So when there are really good ones, people definitely gravitate to them, and a lot of them hold some value for quite a while. Hopefully this will as well. Hopefully nobody decides to, well, we're going to offer this one with a holofoil at the next convention and, do that, because I'm starting to get tired of covers being, you get a good cover that's limited to a certain amount. And then next thing you know, it's, oh, well, here's more. Here's more with a holofoil. Here's more with a lenticular. Here's more with, a special foil. And, that gets tiring after a while. Let something just be special. But out of all the 5 of these, I would have to say this is by far my favorite. This is one of my favorite SDCC covers that they had as well that came out. So,
I agree I want to agree with Damien that one that I sold off to Pete was a good cover.
Yes, that is the Baroness cover to have. But again, like I said, we don't get a ton of really great Baroness covers. So when one comes up, I know Joe fans flock to it, and non-Joe fans flock to it as well, because it's a damn sexy cover. So we shall see where that one goes. Hopefully it holds for a while, because it is a really good cover. So that's what we got on the outside looking in. If you want to read more about these, Pete up on CBSI will have write-ups on these, as well as a little more about the books that you saw on the CBSI Hot 10 tonight. So if you pop over there, you can get a little more information as well. And now for our now and laters this week. I gave 2 slides this week for stuff that was coming out this week, because there were things I liked. Cal Exit, this thing has been pushed around I don't know how many times. I believe I highlighted this cover. Two months ago? It was months and months ago, but then the book got pushed around. This is a Cal Exit Battle of Universal City #1, the 1 in 5 Dusky Loveless variant. I love Dusky Loveless. There's not a lot of art out there from the artist, but it is a great cover. I like to get in on artists as early as I can. Dusky has done some other things for Black Mask, Avert Your Eyes, and I think a couple God Killer covers as well. So this is a good one. And if you can find this as a 1 in 5 on this, wouldn't hurt to pick it up.
I like it.
Cruel Universe. Oni Press is kind of relaunching EC titles. This is the Jay Stevens variant from Dwellings fame for the 1 in 10. There's a lot of good covers on this, but I happen to be a Jay Stevens fan, so I kind of dig it to mix up his style of art with the fun sci-fi stuff is fun. And like I said, there's a lot of Jay Stevens collectors out there as well. Those Dwelling books tend to sell pretty well. So yes, Dusky Loveless is a sweet porn star name. I agree. Or a cowboy. Either way, you can go either way with it.
Right.
Or a country singer. A country singer would also work. Yes, it is technically another bubble helmet. Unfortunately, it's not a woman wearing the bubble helmet, so but it is a bubble helmet. I also Vicious Circle 3 came out, and there's a nice 1 in 25 from Dampen Ocean. I just love Dampen Ocean's work, and Vicious Circle was optioned. Ryan Coogler is involved from Black Panther fame, so might be a book to keep an eye on. Just a word of advice: these books are larger than normal sized. So, here's a regular comic size. Here's a regular comic size, and you have kind of the camera. So it's close enough to magazine size that it'll fit in a magazine bag with a little bit of space. So look for those. If you're looking for them in the store, look where they tend to keep some of the magazines, because I think I said last week, my local LCS now has more room and sections where they're putting these oversized books. And there's good stuff in there, but a lot of people just tend to overlook them because a lot of times they're not just up on the rack with everything else. They're someplace separate with magazines.
Double.
So, yeah. when I have the beard, when I have the full beard this fall, I'll defect to Dom Vision. Let's see. Yeah, all these EC ones have some fun homages, and it was nice of Jay Stevens to do this. I do have something tonight I'm going to ask you all when we get into some of these Pulp Art sales. I have something that I won't necessarily call an homage tonight, but I would like the chat's input on whether they think it was used for inspiration or reference for a famous book. So when we get to that, we'll pull that up. Also had to add in Poulat's been on a tear, by the way. Cedric Poulat. He did this Gun Hunting Collision Course 4. This is the eyeglasses variant. There is a variant with a different background without the eyeglasses. So whatever your kink is, there's a cover for you. Poulat's just been killing it. He has been absolutely killing it. I will stress that with this that I'll show when we do pickups. This beautiful Chun-Li as well. But Poulat's been putting out amazing exclusives. I hate buying exclusives because I know they mostly don't go anywhere with price, but the art's just been really good. So I can't help myself. Also, on the 616 side, there is a Marco Turini Virgin variant of Scarlet 3, which is one of the better Scarlet covers I've seen out of the series so far. There was kind of the Uncle Sam cover, and this cover, I would say, have been the best so far, and both were exclusives. And, of course, oh, look, Bruce is in the chat. He's in the chat. Still no power, Bruce?
Plug into that cigarette, buddy. Cigarette lighter.
Last but not least, I know it was on the Hot 10 as well. I just had to throw up the X-Men 1 in 50, the Jim Lee hidden variant, in which they decided to move the trade dress to landscaped format, which doesn't seem to make any sense because the picture's not. Yeah, the picture's in portrait. But it's Jim Lee and it's Rogue and it's Savage Land Rogue. So it is what it is. It's going to be Hot Book. There are a lot of good exclusives on that as well. And there were a lot of covers on Uncanny X-Men as well. So that book should not be too rare. So hopefully, if you really want it, maybe wait a little bit and some will pop up at a little bit of a lower price. But yeah, people love the Rogue covers. I don't understand any of these X books. I don't understand why they decided to launch everything. I was like, hey, there's too much going on with this Krakoa and all these books and all this bullshit. So we're going to start over with more bullshit and every title under the sun all at once. So, if you've seen the X-Force lineup, you'll understand why there's not a need for all these books.
No.
Yes. Yes, it's just us. It's gonna be a wild ride, Matt. It's gonna be a wild ride. Oh yes, Kevin Sullivan did pass away.
Yes.
Sad. All right, so that now for coming into the future, for all you Kanto fans out there, Flops, and also your Flops fans out there, Flops is going to have a variant cover on Kanto Place Like Home number 6. So if you're a Flops fan out there, as I am, I bought a few copies of these and threw them in the pre-order. So it's fun. Kanto always has great covers, and I like Flops getting mainstream work as well. So if you're a Flops collector, there you go. I also had to throw in these magazines, these Carmilla magazines, and they're redoing a lot of these now. I'm not going to pass up a Frazetta cover. I don't care if it's reused art. I don't care. It's still Frazetta. It's still a classic Frazetta picture. So I will buy these every time they come out. The magazine is fun. It has a lot of good stuff in it. It feels like the old magazines, the old Vampirella magazines and stuff like that. So
Is it 1-for-1, like a full reprint, or is it?
No, there's original stuff in there, I believe, as well. But like I said, they're fun to pick up. If you like Frazetta, if you like San Julian, you get a lot of San Julian covers as well. So they're nice to be able to pick up pretty cheap and get some of that cool Frazetta and San Julian art and stuff like that in really nice shape. So, and I will continue to put Hello Darkness and any of these Pablo Rivera covers on because they are all great. This is for Hello Darkness number 4. This is just the A cover. But again, all of these Hello Darkness covers have been good. You've been getting a lot of Frizen, some Lotte, good mix of very good artists, and you get a lot of good writers on the inside as well in this anthology book. So eat them up because they're you can pre-order them now and get the discounts on them. Well, that's what we got for the comics.
Very nice.
For the pulp marketplace, like I said, I didn't go with actual pulps this week. I went with Pulp Art because there was an auction of Pulp Art. And this Barry Stevens I had to pull out. I went for $4,000. This is called Swamp Girl from the paperback cover in 1953. A lot of the times this art would be reused. So a lot of times you would get it on a paperback book, and then sometimes they would touch up the art in different ways and use it on a pulp or vice versa. My question is the name Swamp Girl caught my attention. Mm-hmm. So to me, I was thinking maybe this, and look, he's creeping, looking through the window.
Yep. She's
wearing red, and there's a lantern. And I was like, well, maybe she's wearing red. He's a creeper in the window.
It's not too far off, is it?
And it's Swamp Thing. Yeah. So I wonder whether Bernie there took a little bit of inspiration from Barry Stevens and this classic, sexier cover that was out there. But again, a 6x12. It's not signed, but still, $4,000 is nice. Now, on the pricier side, you got some H.J. Ward, who is a famous pulp artist, done beautiful, beautiful things. This went for $137,500. So now, granted, this is from a cover of a pulp from 1936. It is signed and dated, which is nice as well. And this is one of his most iconic covers as well. So you don't get a lot of these that pop up in the market, especially these older ones where it's actually original art. A lot of collectors have them, and price wise, they don't come up very often. So this one was just quite a nice sale. I would rather have this for $137,000 than the New Mutants 98 Rob Liefeld art, which someone's trying to sell for $7.5 million. And last on the list, nice George Gross sold for $10,000. The Mistress, it's perfect. The guy, you just got the guy's hand there holding the cigarette. It's just a beautiful, beautiful piece of art. Unfortunately, not signed, but still solid sale for 10 grand. So that's what we got on the pulp side.
I like those.
Yeah, it was me creeping in the window. For not comic sale of the week this week, I got 2 pages. Since we're doing Tank Girl, I figured I would show a little bit of some Tank Girl sales. So we had a nice Jamie Hewlett Tank Girl print that sold. It was limited to 50 with the COA, sold for $1,182, which is quite nice. And we know those vintage t-shirts tend to sell pretty well.
Yeah.
And these did. You got a nice Teenage Lobotomy Tank Girl long sleeve t-shirt that sold for $600. Wow. And you got a Tank Girl movie t-shirt, which should sell at a discount because the movie was not good. But it was Lori Petty at 11, and Lori Petty should only be at about 3 in a movie. So my Lori Petty level goes from like Point Break to Tank Girl. That's where I kind of go with my Lori Petty.
Okay.
But still sold for $300, which wasn't too bad.
No, not for a t-shirt.
And for our collectibles this week, I decided to go with fun cigarette stuff. If you grew up in the 90s or 80s and you were a smoker, you either collected your Camel Cash or your Marlboro Miles. And it was quite popular back then until Joe Camel was run out of town, not only for looking like a large penis on his face, but for encouraging children to smoke. But you could collect your Camel Cash and get a lot of fun, stupid stuff. Same with Marlboro Miles. Yep. I knew people that had like 10-gallon trash bags filled with Marlboro Miles when I was growing up. Yeah. But they always had fun, interesting things, fun, very outdoorsy things, which I never understood. That's like, hey, here's a tent and a backpack and all these things for you to go hiking in the woods and camping while you're chain smoking Marlboro cigarettes. But they had them. So first up on our list, there was a vintage 1996 Joe Camel pool playing sterling silver Zippo. This was a lighter that was limited to 100. So it's actually engraved in the bottom there. This one was 75 out of 100. So these are very collectible. If you happen to be at a flea market or someplace like that, and you happen to see the actual sterling silver ones, and you see them stamped out of 100 in there, I would say pick it up if you find it cheap, because this sold for almost $1,500.
Hell yeah!
So it's nice. And then I had to throw up the old, vintage Camel lights cigarette wall hanging clock, just so you can get a good look at how cool Joe Camel was. I mean, if that didn't want to make you smoke or look like Fonzie in the early 90s, I don't know what did. So that was always fun. That one sold for $160. Marlboro actually had they had all kinds of pretty nice stuff with Marlboro Miles. You could get some pretty cool stuff if you saved up enough. But the Swiss Army watch, the Winger Swiss Army watch, was always quite popular, and that one sold for $204 as a buy it now.
That doesn't surprise me.
And although Newport didn't have a miles program or cash program, Newport would like sell T-shirts. There would just be a T-shirt stuffed with 2 packs of cigarettes, and it's like, oh, okay. This is a nice vintage 1980s Newport pleasure. I don't know, that hits the feels for me in terms of the old Newport T-shirts, and those normally go for about $50. You can find those actually quite often online, but this one actually came with the box as well, which was kind of nice. So okay. That's what we have for nice not comic sales of the week in the wild world of cigarette promotions.
Yeah, much like
I was more of a cool guy, but Newports were all right.
Yeah, much like Pepsi points. I would collect. I never smoked, but like I worked in places where there were tons of people smoking, and they always just threw them out. Yep. So I'd collect them, and I'd get a whatever, you know.
They don't got Mark had all kinds of stuff. Like blankets, backpacks, duffel bags, all kinds of cool stuff.
I mean, I was saving up my Pepsi points for that F-16 fighter, but somebody already got it.
Lucky Strikes. 22 years of Lucky Strikes, Cosmic, right here.
Yeah.
I smoked dead ends for quite a long time. All righty, Styx.
Yes. All right,
up, sir.
All right. So, in honor of Tank Girl this week, I chose.
It's carved out of a whale's tooth, by the way. Your pipe.
The whale ivory. Yeah, it's whale ivory.
Yeah, you scrimshot it and everything.
with my old buddy Ishmael. I found a website that had some Tank Girl merch, and they had a bunch of these. So I said, I'll use this as my game this week. So this week is finish up what the patch says on the tank for Tank Girl. Yeah, no.
I'm going to buy you a Newport shirt just to see you wear it. I'm going to find one for Baltimore.
I might have like an old Marlboro shirt in one of my bins somewhere that I used to wear for college, but that's probably it. I never had. That was about it. So let's see. So here we go. Yeah, finish that patch. So these are going to be Tank Girl patches, and I've kind of cropped out the saying on it. Most of them say Tank Girl on it, so that's not a big spoiler there for the patch, but we'll see what we got here. So Tank Girl patch number 1. This is the sub tank and jet patch. So it says sub tank and jet on the top, but what does it say on the bottom here? Does it say the rotisserie squad? Does it say battalion babes? Does it say the 3rd day commandos? Or does it say Tank Girl ladies?
This is a nice one because you actually get Tank Girl, Jet Girl, and Sub Girl all on the cover.
Yep. And this website has some really nice, like if you were a jean jacket type person, you had like the patches.
Were they iron on, or were they?
They were the sew. They looked like sew on.
Nice. I prefer sew on.
Yeah.
V.
Yeah, we got V. Talk about their BK. Pole girl? No, there's no pole girl.
It's in a slightly different comic.
All right. And the answer is 3rd day commandos.
Those are nice patches, by the way.
Yeah, they were. The site was, it had other stuff too. It had posters and t-shirts and stuff like that. Patch number 2, Tank Girl Army. Does it say underneath, I'm only telling you once? Team Aiken Division. This ruse for you, or female power.
Got a C in there.
A C. All right, Damien. Thank you.
Got some B's in there.
Okay.
C.
That's fine. Hot the name.
What do we got, Stacey?
All right, and your answer is the tea making division or Tank Girl.
Yes.
Patch number 3 features Jet Girl. And what's her little slogan on here? Does it say "Let's eat"? Is it "Yummy Yummy"? Jammy Dodger?
It should, since Hewlett did all the art for Gorillas.
Or Crumpet Toastin' Squadron?
I was so happy to see Jammy Dodgers in there because I love Jammy Dodgers. I'm a big Jammy Dodger fan. One should know they're British desserts.
Yep. Yeah, we got B, D.
Yes. Always a winner. Love sandal season.
And your answer is the Crumpet Toasting Squadron. I like this patch. I thought it was kind of cute for the character.
Yeah. Like I said, all the Hewlett stuff is great. If you're a fan of Gorillas, Tank Girl is a fun series to read, to see that art.
All right. Patch number 4. TG Army veteran. What are they a veteran of? Is it Operation Burning Sausage? Operation Barbie? Are they a veteran of excessive violence? Or are they just a veteran of Roddy McDowell?
I love Roddy McDowell.
Hey.
Everyone's leaning heavy into the Roddy McDowell.
He played a good heel in the 90s. They had a lot of good spots where Roddy was the heel. After being an ape for so long.
Fright Night,
yep.
Yeah, it would be interesting if he was ended up as Banksy. Although I thought they partially leaked out Banksy at one point, who it might have been.
I thought it was not too long ago. They said they figured out who he was.
Yeah.
Or thought they figured out who he was at any rate.
Yeah, he does. So the Gorilla stuff kept him pretty busy.
Yeah. And your answer is Operation Burning Sausage. Sounds like a great.
I don't think they could remake Clockwork Orange nowadays. I don't think they could. It would have to be so small budget and indie to be able to get away with what they would need to get away with.
Mm-hmm. And our final patch, to Surf and Protect. On the top we have, I can tell you, it does say Tank Girl on it. And does it also say Tanks for the Memories? Bastard Patrol? Desert Pig? Or is it Don't Stick to My Treads?
Clockwork Orange was one of the first books I ever shoplifted as a child.
Memories.
I think I was like 15. Snaked an off-cut copy of Clockwork Orange.
Is it considered? I see that Jamie says a UK movie. Is that considered is that UK or that's just what's his name there? Kubrick, right?
Yeah. But it was a UK movie, although it was. I'm trying to remember where it was banned because it was banned. Was it banned in the UK? I know it was banned in one of the major countries when it came out.
All right, and your answer here is the Bastard Patrol.
There we go.
Very good. And thanks for playing.
You are correct, Matt. The movie is trash, and I blame that solely on Lori Petty.
It's the kind of trash you don't mind watching every once in a while.
Yeah, I see. I don't think they could even do it now because it's such an irreverent comic. I don't think they could get away with a lot of what they got away with back then.
I'm interested to see what the new series is going to be like.
So to me, I picked Tank Girl this week. It's a book I read a lot in like my teens, and then I kind of forgot about it because it did kind of go away for a little while. And then I was out of comics, and so it's fun kind of coming back to it. It has, to me, some of the best, coolest artists that have done the art, either interior and cover work for really any series. They're some of my personal favorites. Some of them are more of an acquired taste, but I like them a lot. They fit in very good with the genre and the character quite a bit. But I also was thinking about doing this week since Brett Parson is doing so well and killing it with grommets, to introduce people to some other really fantastic Parson work that's out there as well. So if you really like grommets and you like that style of art and you kind of like that kind of style, there's going to be a lot of Brett Parson stuff in here as well. Okay. So Martin Hewlett met in Martin Wright's Hewlett Drew, met in college and started doing a few comic strips, and then kind of settled on coming up with this character Tank Girl, because they added the word girl to everything that they were doing at the time. So they came up with this fun Aussie irreverent character who was beer drinking, obnoxious, violent, lived in a tank, had a boyfriend who was a mutant kangaroo, and just had some crazy fun stories. So Deadline magazine out of the UK is the first place you are going to find Tank Girl. Deadline 1 in around a 7.0 is going to be $650 to $700. So it's held its value. Tank Girl has held her value in terms of her first appearance for quite a while. She should be a Secret Gorillas member. So that Deadline series had tons of not only great Tank Girl covers, but I mean, if you're a fan of Boland, Alan Moore stuff, there's just a lot of really, really cool comic stuff in these outside of just the issues that really kind of had really good Tank Girl stories in them as well. So again, it ran for I think 69 issues or so for Deadline. Again, a lot of these, a lot of them you can get from the UK. Half the time when you find them on, especially something outside of Deadline 1, they end up being UK sales on eBay. So there's just a lot of, like I said, a lot of really, really, really great cover art through these. Got a good Boland cover there as well. And again, you could pick a lot of these up at lots as well. Some of the later runs. And again, these magazines are great. Again, not just for the art that's in them and the stories, but as you get later on in Deadline, you get a lot more music stuff in there as well. So you could find some good stuff of bands you might have liked from that time period as well, be it Portishead or Beastie Boys. And then after Deadline ran its run, Dark Horse briefly picked up a little Deadline run as well. So in the mid 90s, you got a little bit of a Deadline run as well. So you got some Tank Girl out of that as well. And they also stuck with the, having some stuff about music and stuff in there as well. Then you had her first solo series. Again, fantastic covers. Tank Girl 1 still sells pretty well at a pretty nice premium. Some of the other issues you can pick up a bit cheaper, but Tank Girl 1 still holds its value pretty good. And again, they're great Hula covers. You had a series, Tank Girl Odyssey, which was a take on Homer's Odyssey. And you had a bunch of fun Bolin covers in there as well. So if you're a Brian Bolin fan, it's just a nice one to have. Good Peter Milligan stuff in there as well. You had Tank Girl Apocalypse. She does eventually have a baby that is half human and half tank. So that's a fun little part as well. But Apocalypse, a lot of the series that ran were shorter run. Apocalypse was through Vertigo. It's fun little reissues. A few more reissues that came through with some cooler covers. It's a great Jamie Hill. You want to feel the Gorillas art right there, that third cover right there.
Yeah.
That's hands down one of my favorite Tank Girl runs is The Gifting. It's amazing Ashley Wood covers. I know Ashley Wood can be a bit of an acquired taste, but the Gifting books, if you find these in the wild, they do quite well. This was put out through IDW, and again, they're all amazingly phenomenal covers. That tend to go for a good bit of money.
Cheeky.
The ones out of this run that are harder to find will go for over $100.
Wow.
And that's just in the raw. But again, they're all really cool covers. Again, it was only a 4-issue run with a handful of covers with each issue. I think there were maybe 3 covers with each issue. Then you had some more Ashley Wood on Visions of Booga. Booga is the half kangaroo mutant who is her boyfriend. These were nice wraparound covers.
Yeah.
Again, it was a 4-issue run through IDW. You had a few other weird little runs that went through. So you had Skid Marks. You had a few little one-offs, some one-shots. A couple small run series. Again, Alan Martin was still writing a lot of these as well. So you were getting still the original writer of Tank Girl. And one of my other favorites, everybody loves Tank Girl. I love Jim Mafood. And again, Martin was writing on these. This was through Titan. So you had some really good. If you're a fan of Jim Mafood, this is Jim Mafood art. It doesn't let you down. Either you like it a lot or you don't. But I dig Mafood. This stuff just kind of fits the genre really well. And you got 21st Century Tank Girl, and you start to get the Brett Parson art that starts to come in as well. Of course, the 21st Century Tank Girl #2, the third cover over there, is always a winner. Always a fun sought-after cover. Two Girls, One Tank had probably the most variants and stuff that was in there as well. It was a good series. You had a lot of really cool covers. You had some really good Brett Parson A covers and A and B covers on a lot of these books. His work is fantastic. He is a perfect successor for doing Tank Girl. Like I said, his art style fits perfect for it. Yeah, the Two Girls, One Tank was a fun series. You also got, at the end of that, a nice fold-out cover with Subgirl on the back as well. So you got Tank Girl and Subgirl. You had World Tank Girl, which had some really cool kind of throwback covers that kind of felt pulpy with Tank Girl. Plus some really good Parson covers as well. The cover on the far right is a Tula Lote. So that one was always fun to find, because if you're a Lote collector, it's just kind of one that's out there that most people don't tend to think of that much. But World Tank Girl definitely had some really fun covers. You had King Tank Girl as well. So for all you Scotty Young fans out there that want a Tank Girl cover, there's one out there.
This is the series that just started, right?
This one started in 2000.
Oh, did it?
They all kind of blend together. None of the timelines you look on any of these, they all kind of say 2018 to present, but they don't run through. The run's over. So
okay.
All-Star Tank Girl had some great covers in it as well. You get some nice little homage there on the album cover.
Stranger Things there.
Yeah. Again, you get a cool Mafud cover there. All-Stars is just a fun series. There's some really fun covers within All-Stars as well. Action Alley, you get a bunch of the action figure for all you action figure variant fans out there. You can get Tank Girl, Jet Girl, and Sub Girl. I think there's a Booga as well for the action figures. But there's definitely some fun covers within there as well. Again, you get a lot. You're getting Martin writing through here and Parson doing all the art. So like I said, Parson's been doing most of the art on Tank Girl since 2017, 2016. Tank Girl Strikes Again, also fun. You had a lot of mix-up covers as well. I always like the doll cutout covers when they do those on books like this. And you had Tank Girl Gold, which was a fun series as well. That football fold-out cover is pretty awesome. The Mad Magazine cover homage is kind of nice as well.
Crazy.
Like I said, there's definitely some fun books through here. So like I said, if you happen to be a Parsons fan, it is definitely a good way to go, because you will get some really fun stories, some good art, and some pretty banging covers. So, and a lot of these you can get a lot of lots of these if you're just looking for just like A cover lots for, $15, $20. Just pick up a full lot. There are trades as well. They reissue a lot of this stuff in trades. So, it's definitely fun stuff to read, but there's definitely some good covers to hunt for in there as well. And that's what we have for Tank Girl.
Wow. Pretty good.
Yeah, I just wanted to highlight some, especially like some of the Parson stuff. Now that Gromit seems to be hot, people might be looking for some of his other work, and there's plenty of it within the Tank Girl universe. So
Looks like it.
Enjoy. I would have news tonight, but that's Bruce's job, and Bruce still has no power, so no news for tonight. So we will just go to what. So I found a fun story.
What the hell?
this guy has a massive hair dye reaction, which left him looking like Megamind. So apparently he had a very severe reaction to hair dye. And if you see the guy originally there on the left, you can see he's definitely the type that would probably dye his hair and eat a lot of jammy Dodgers. I've never seen. I've had mild allergic reactions to things before. I've never seen anyone have allergic reactions like that before. I've never seen anyone's head swell.
It's like
that.
he got stung by a huge bee or something. That his head just ballooned up like that. And
the way the head and skull ballooned up was quite interesting to me. I don't know how he's doing now. If he still looks like this, that would be fucking hilarious. But I don't know. So just a word to the wise out there. If you're looking to dye your hair or dye your beard or things like that, just be careful. Be careful. Yeah, I couldn't tell you what that dye is made of, but
Synthanol.
it was something bad. It's something bad. But yeah, so he's getting laughed at.
Oh yeah.
And last up on what tonight, I did have a list of the 7 absolute worst jobs historically. And I was hoping we'd have more people on the panel tonight because I was going to ask people, hey, what was the worst job you ever had? So the list that they had was a leech collector, which was a job back in the day. That would be a horrible job. Fooler, who is a person that after a sheep is sheared, have to clean the wool, which is a grotesque and dirty job to have to do.
Yeah.
Food taster was on the list. So back in the day where people were worried about being poisoned, they would have a food taster.
The royal food taster.
Who would have to taste the food to make sure there wasn't poison in it. That's a horrible job to have.
Yeah, Joffrey should have had someone eat that plum pie.
No, I was so happy to see that kid go. I just wish it would have been more painful. He was the worst character. God, I never want to see somebody go more than that kid. Petardier, which is the person who carried the petard. The petard, in case I'm sure people have heard the phrase "hoist the petard," but the petard was a long stick that had a kind of old school explosive device at the top. So when you would go to attack a castle, the petardier would be the first person who had to basically run and eat a bunch of arrows that were being shot at him and have to deal with hot boiling oil being poured on him as he tried to basically blow up the door to let everybody in. So also, I thought Victorian scavenger was fun that they had on the list as well. So back in Victorian days, there were just a bunch of really poor kids running around that were scavenging for anything and everywhere, in rivers, in trash, you name it. But apparently it wasn't not a very healthy lifestyle to have back then. Matchmaker was also on the list, not people that, match up couples, but people that actually make matches, combustible matches. Because apparently that was a horrible job to have and a horribly boring job to have. And last but not least, tanner, because tanner is the worst job. If you tan hides, it is the most gross smelling, disgusting possible job you can possibly have. So Styx, I ask you, what's the worst job that you've ever had?
My worst job I've worked at like fast food restaurants. I've worked at Burger King and things like that. I can't stand the smell of fast food restaurants anymore.
I spent several years working as a sandwich artist at Subway.
I always love that
in my early teen years, and that to me it wasn't too bad outside of the smell, because you would come home smelling like onions, and that smell does not come out of clothes no matter what you wash them in. But I worked for the PA Turnpike on the road crew for a while, and in the summers we would have to do two things which I hated. Like I'd rather lay asphalt in 100-degree heat than do what I had to do. Deer would get hit on the road in the middle of summer, late on a Friday. I'd come into work on a Monday, and they would be very, very bloated and grotesque. And we would basically have to get them off the road or away from the side of the road. So the way you do that when you don't want to have to lift a full bloated deer is you get one of those long bungee cords that has the S hooks on the end. You hook that to the back of the truck. You put the other hook through the jaw of the deer, and you drag that son of a bitch about 2 miles down the road. And you hope it falls apart by the time you get to the end of the 2 miles. So you don't have,
Oh my God.
So it's not too hard to have to throw it over a ditch. The other fun part about working on the turnpike was truckers love to piss in Gatorade bottles. They love to piss in Gatorade bottles, and they love to leave them all over the road. And guess what, truckers? Somebody has to clean those up. It is not a fun task. If you ever stop on the PA Turnpike, you will notice it has a distinct scent of urine. That is one of the main reasons why. So a lot of times in the week, if we knew it was going to rain really hard over a couple days, we would go out before it rained, and we would take the truck and we would run over all the piss bottles so that they would all explode. And then it would rain a couple days, kind of clean them off a bit, and then you just clean up the scrap later. That was by far one of the worst jobs I had. It also didn't help that I dated the foreman's daughter when I was in 8th grade, and none of the union guys that worked there liked the foreman, so they told the foreman that I banged his daughter. So I got some of the worst possible jobs that you could imagine that summer.
Yikes.
So it was not fun. So that's what I got. Good times.
Yeah.
Well, out there, I hope you guys enjoyed this abbreviated. We didn't have Dom and Bruce arguing all episode.
Right.
So apparently, looking at the clock, that apparently takes up about an hour of our show. And then I'll add the rest for news, but news is basically normally just Dom and Bruce arguing about it. So we're gonna end a little early tonight. Give you all back a little bit of time on your Friday. If you haven't subbed yet, please sub up at Renovision, Kingdom of Nerds, Styx's channel. You know what? We didn't do pickups. I do have a few pickups. Styx, do you have any pickups?
I don't have any pickups this week.
I have a few, so I'll show a few of mine. So I did get the Pulp Chun-Li. There's two versions of this, by the way. There's her in the red Baywatch swimsuit as well. I went with the classic. I got a little Bang Bez Gaslighters.
Nine Tails.
The girl with 9 tails. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Bang Bez as an artist. So I picked that up. Some more Bang Bez, Gaslighters. This was one of my favorite covers a couple years ago, and they were running a sale, so I just picked up another copy.
Okay.
I know people like Sonia Mattis, but Coco Aspen. Also nice, very nice Gaslighters cover.
Nice. Hello.
And I'm a big fan of Richard Morgan. His Kickstarter for Blam and Glam is going to be going live for issue number 9 on Kickstarter August 20th. So you can pick up issue 9 and also pick up the back issues as well through that Kickstarter for Richard Morgan, Blam and Glam. He's a great artist. And for issue 9, you will have variant covers from Suspiria and more Bang Bez. So that's awesome as well. And there you go. Barbie 12. I found a cheap slab. I was looking all I wanted was a clean raw copy, but I could not find a clean raw copy for a price that I found reasonable. And the slab for a 9.6 was $20. So I was like, yeah, okay, I'll just get the slab. I got this because this little debate between it, but this and Bayou Billy #1 are Amanda Connor's first covers. Amanda Connor is going to be coming to a con here locally next week, so I wanted to take those to get signed.
I don't have the Barbie, but I have the Bayou Billy.
Yeah. So I wanted to, I'm happy to see Amanda and Jimmy. They do a great job with their stuff, and I like to go out and support them whenever I can, and just be fun to bring those books to get signed. So I don't know if it's uncouth to just take a slab because it's for my PC. I'm never going to sell it because I love Amanda, and I just want it for my PC to be like, hey, could you just sign the slab? Because I'm never gonna. I don't feel like cracking it, getting it signed, resubmitting it with the signature and all that BS.
I've seen people get the slab signed.
Yeah, I don't know if that's some type of social faux pas or not, but I'll probably do that, and I'll get my Bayou
Your
Billy
book, man. You
signed.
do what you want.
Yeah. But I just thought it'd be fun because I'm sure everyone will be bringing Harley stuff, and it's like, oh, I'll go back and dig deep for some of that.
CGC or CBCS will just have to come up for a slab so you can double slab it.
Yes, I'll send in my CGC slab to CBCS and say, hey, can you slab my CGC slab
with a signature on it?
With the signature on it.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be fun. Well, let's add this back up here. So tomorrow night, I'm not sure if Matt is still in, but the SNS boys, I'm sure we'll be raising hell as always tomorrow night. I don't know what they're doing on Dark Side this week because Wayseeker has COVID. So I don't know what's going to happen there, but
that's what you get for hanging out with Blue Bears.
We've been trying to push for just JJ and Dom, just those two going at it for an hour plus.
Oh, God.
I think that would be extremely fun and entertaining. But for all your Star Wars needs, Dark Side's normally on Sundays around 9:30-ish. And also an ish date is the TAC show on Wednesdays, which is supposed to go live at 9:15, but Marco's always late or yapping behind the scenes about something. So watch TAC. Again, Marco's been going through a lot of books on there, looking and talking about grading, looking at defects, talking about defects, because Baltimore will have on-site grading for CGC. So, that's it's going to be a cool thing that hasn't been around for a little while.
I'm going through my stuff and I'm picking 3 books to get a slab on there.
Yeah, so I probably won't take any to get slab because I'm lazy and I don't know. There's very few books I want in a slab. Sometimes I stick with a slab because, well, the price works out sometimes. Some of those keys, it's like people want too much for the raw and you don't know what you're going to get versus just buying a slab. But I don't know. I might look around. I might find a couple things I want to submit. So we shall see. Well, other than that, I appreciate you all sticking around tonight. Thank you for coming by. And again, we'll give you some time back. Enjoy your nights. Hopefully next week we'll have more of a full house.
Yeah.
See what we get. And thank you all very, very much for coming. Styx, any last words of wisdom you got?
No, we're now into August, and like Joe said, the con season, the summer con season is slowly coming to an end. If you can get out to a con, do it now. In the fall, So some of those big cons they're going to get hard to get to, especially if you're in an area with snow and just inclement weather that you don't want to be driving hundreds of miles to go to a con to get someone to sign your book. So do it now. Do it now.
Like I said, we're going to be in Baltimore, so that'll be fun.
Yeah, you're coming out of the.
I'm coming out of my bunker and actually going to make it out to Baltimore.
That'll be good.
It's not too far from me, so. I can swing that. So we'll be there. Renovision will have a booth So if you happen to be at the Baltimore Con, feel free to stop by. I know Pete's going to be giving some stuff away. I think a lot of us are bringing a few things for giveaways.
Yeah.
Pete will have a wheel to spin for giveaways. So that'll be fun. And I know Kyle made a ton of swag to give away.
He's been doing a lot of stuff for that. Yeah, it looks
Yeah,
great.
he's made everything: bottle openers, keychains, pens, stickers, a bunch of swag to give away. So always feel free to stop by. And within, I'm guessing, the next couple weeks, we will probably do a con hunt list of things that for these last few cons, especially Baltimore, since Baltimore is a good comic con.
Yes, it is.
Things that we might be looking for our own personal collections to fill out. So we will come up with lists of one of those. That'll probably be one of the spotlights, because I know I will have a pretty healthy list of things I will be hunting for when I go there. So Thanks for joining us. Have a happy Friday. Have a great weekend. Take care.
The qualified. The qualified.